I'm happy to welcome Alberto Salesto. He is here from Meta. He's going to be sharing how you can maximize conversions with HubSpot and Meta. So please go ahead and take it away.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Calling in from New York. So it is good morning here. Thank you for having me. This is my third user group event, and I've loved every single one of them. I'm here to talk to you about how we Meta are supporting lead generation businesses from a product perspective. I am a product marketing manager supporting our partner ecosystem as it relates to Conversions API for CRM, which I'll go into details on the slides, and how HubSpot is supercharging that ability for businesses. So I'm going to share my screen and walk through some slides, and then I'll leave room for some questions, and I'll try to get to as many as I can. So let me open up my screen. Great. I believe you all see my screen.
Looks good.
So the slides that I'm going to walk you through are is surrounding generating high quality leads, which is essentially top of mind for any business or any marketer that's focusing on lead generation. Um, when you look at sort of today's age to move people through longer consideration phases and ultimately drive performance, it's becoming more difficult, complex. There are market dynamics, tech platform dynamics, and these sort of it's important more than ever that businesses enable more of a personalized, frictionless experience. And if you're in a lead-oriented business, this with added complexities and additional touch points where someone cannot just click on a button and add something to a cart, that sort of causes the need for even more of that personalized, frictionless experience. So from our perspective, we sort of we've introduced to the market a suite of lead generation products that can help you find, qualify, or nurture new customers across three channels: forms, messages, and calls. When you look at forms, these are sort of what you would think. You can have people submit their information to you through a mobile first form, either through quick loading, instant form within our app and our interface, or being redirected to your own website. You have messages, click to message ads for lead generation that let you create chat flows within the messaging app, WhatsApp coming soon. And then calls. You can have potential customers call you like forms either within Meta as a platform or outside when visiting your website. So where I want to focus the conversation today is instant forms. And these are lead ads with instant forms. Instant forms allow, like I said before, allow people to express interest in just a few steps. And what's great about instant form is that it's natively embedded into our platforms. Makes it easy to fill out a mobile first form, get information about businesses, and they load pretty quickly and also auto-populate with information that people have already shared with Meta. Just last year, we've seen already 1 billion instant forms submitted. That's about a 17% year-over-year increase. And this is relatively one of our newer products, and we're seeing it grow tremendously. And a lot of it has to do with that frictionless, personalized experience where you're able to preload and auto-populate information, and it's already embedded into the native experience when someone is in the app. Also, when you look at, actually campaign execution, instant forms allows you to expand your desired outcome. Not only can you maximize when you choose instant form as a conversion location within Ads Manager, you can maximize for a number of leads. And this is sort of when you're trying to receive as many people as possible. Think about the use case for email marketing lists or pre-registration for a conference. But this also allows you to optimize for intentionality, more quality. And this is when you're trying to reach people that are likely to convert after they submitted their contact information. So these are more of your sort of high touch sort of leads, like booking a test drive appointment. So instant forms allows you to look at quantity and quality, which is a unique product that we have in the marketplace. And I wanted to share some best practices from an instant forms perspective. Is one, what we've seen is ask 3 or fewer questions. We typically see when you ask 3 or fewer questions via instant forms, we've seen a 26% lower cost per lead against comparable advertisers who've done more than 3 questions. Use a single field for first name, last name. We've seen a 14% lower cost per lead when in comparison to forms that are using first name and last name as separate fields. Ask for email address or phone number, not both. And we've seen double digit um, impact and lower cost per lead in comparison when you're asking for both. So these are some of the best practices when you're looking at campaign performance and impact that sort of we then extrapolated as a best practice. And like I mentioned from the pre-population, what we can do to pre-populate information, consider some autofill questions. Again, people already share certain information with Meta that we can pre-populate when you're building out your form. Again, this really allows that personalized, frictionless experiences and getting that sort of that potential lead or that potential customer to from exposure to interest and reduce that gap from time to exposure to time to interest a lot quicker. I think the other component that we try to tell is automating lead download. Not only can save time, but expedite follow-up. And it's actually a prerequisite for Conversions API integration, and that I will go through in a second. You have the ability that when you're running campaigns to retrieve leads and have them automatically go directly into your CRM. It literally eliminates all manual processes of downloading new leads. You can connect your CRM to your account and to sort of your campaigns, and any leads that come in via instant forms goes directly into your CRM. It allows you to take action more quickly, and again, scale the benefits and impact, and you'll be able to connect your CRM to Meta so that we can learn from that customer. And I'll go over what that means in a second. So what does that mean? Converges API for CRM. This is sort of the meat of what I wanted to talk to you about today, and the product that we have in market is that Conversions API is essentially a way for us to collect and use first-party data to improve performance, and we do it in a privacy-first way. It's a secure and reliable way for businesses like yourselves to share marketing data or any type of data with Meta Technologies in order for you all as businesses to see better performance when you're running your next campaigns. Now, when you connect your CRM data with methodologies through Conversions API, you can, one, like I mentioned before, download the leads from your campaigns across Meta. You have the ability to share that customer knowledge back to us for us to learn and optimize for better performance. And that allows you then to target your highest value prospect in future campaigns. And I'll go over I'll go sort of a little bit deeper on what that means. We've seen results. Connecting your CRM data with Meta Technologies via conversion APIs leads to a 15% reduction in cost per quality lead and a 44% increase in rate of converting a lead to a quality lead. And this is in comparison to businesses that run lead ads or that are optimized for volume, quantity. We're seeing sort of that quality component really drive home and deliver more impact for businesses. So what does that look like in terms of how it works? So if you read this chart from left to have your potential customer, you're running a campaign, they click your ad, they sign up for a free trial. That particular action goes into your CRM if you're connecting your CRM, whether they newsletter sign up, quote, and now you have access and you have visibility into that customer journey. But without that connection to Conversions API, us as Meta, we don't know what happens after in terms of how did that person move throughout the sales funnel? Did that person convert? Did they get stuck? What happened to that lead? But with Conversion API, you're allowed to share that information in a privacy safe way back to Meta through Conversions API. And it gives us more visibility into that customer journey in terms of how that potential lead or that potential customer moves throughout the sales funnel. And for future campaigns, it allows us to optimize on your behalf and optimize and train our models and our systems for you so that your future campaigns now can run on a conversion lead performance goal, which means quality, which means I can now target folks that are more likely to take action. So that's sort of the value proposition that Conversion API allows. It allows you to share that data back for us, understand your sales funnel a little bit more, understand how customers are moving so that your next dollar spent or your next $2 spent, you can actually optimize for quality as opposed to just quantity. Now, there are some prerequisites to ensure you're a good fit for Conversions API for CRM is one, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, instant forms. Right now, Conversion API only works for instant forms, meaning our on-site. It's a tool that can only be achieved via instant forms. We are exploring other conversion locations, but at this time, it's with instant forms. We also ask that businesses at least generate 200 leads per month. So think of this as a feasibility check to ensure that our systems and our models and our back-end ad systems are being trained the right way. So we need enough data in order to do that correctly, so that you all can see the best impact that you can see. So we're asking for businesses to generate at least 200 leads per month in order to really see the effects of Conversions API. Now you can sort of you're asking yourself, okay, how do I do this? You can go two ways. You can build your own integration, meaning if you have your technical resources, you have developers, you have those resources in-house, you can build your own integration. But what we recommend is working with a Meta business partner like HubSpot. And these are folks who have done all of the technical lift, all of the developmental lift for you already, and you can literally integrate in just a few clicks, no code, less than a day, less than an hour, actually. And this is sort of where the partnerships really come and really shine. They remove all technical burden and all resourcing sort of need, and you can do it through a partner. And to really bring that home is, let's say you want to do it by yourself. These are sort of all the steps you need to take, and it can take roughly 3 months from setting the foundation, connecting the CRM, making sure that the data is mapped correctly, creating the data set, also known as the CRM pixel. Doing all of these things can take time. But with a partner, like I mentioned in my previous slide, you can do this all in less than a day. You can integrate all in less than a day or even an hour. And that's what's great about our partnership, our ecosystem, is that partners really remove all technical sort of and resource dependencies, and allows you to do it in just a few clicks. And we've seen that utilizing a Meta business partner with CRM and data integrations helps. Advertisers using lead ads achieve 53% more leads when adopting a partner compared to those that just went about it alone. So we see partners sort of have the systems, allow you to sort of apply these solutions efficiently, effectively, and allows you to take action and move a lot faster than going about it alone. And we've seen some of the results here. I wanted to share some case studies here with some businesses that are already knee deep in Conversions API. Take Compare Club, for example, where their objective was optimizing leads that are more likely to convert. They essentially took a tactic of instant forms with conversion leads performance goals, and with connected via Conversions API for CRM. And compared to that 15 and 44%, we've seen sort of tremendous numbers here: 56% lower CPA compared to website conversion, 58% increase in return on ad spend, 10% lower CPA compared to on-site leads. So we're seeing not only the instant form, but also the Conversion API sort of added value really drive more business impact. Here's another Mirror Clinic, similar objective, more high quality leads and sales. We've seen, again, 48% more quality leads with conversion leads than standard instant forms, 36% lower cost per lead with conversion leads optimization. So we're seeing impact, and it's a business and it's an area that we want to continue to drive awareness, and know that you, as a lead generation business sitting on CRM data, you don't have to go through it alone in terms of nurturing and calling, and you can utilize that data for better future performance as you're looking at your next, where do I spend and how do I spend my next dollar? So before I move on to questions, I did want to play a video of how this comes to life from a HubSpot perspective. So let me share that screen here, and then you can see what I am referring to.
Oh, wow, there's a donut shop I haven't tried. Okay, just give me a sec to finish this up real quick. And done. I'm on a mission to try every donut shop in Chicago. I thought I had them all covered, but a new one just popped up in my Facebook feed. They have a special offer for new customers, so I signed up to join their mailing list, and I want to make sure I get that coupon for later today. This is exactly why you should be using the Conversions API for leads. Instead of showing that ad to 50 or 100 people who might be interested, Facebook's parent company Meta showed it to me. To them, I'm not just another lead, I'm a high quality lead. So what does that mean for you and your business? Well, for most marketers, lead quality is the #1 metric used to measure success. But actually finding high quality leads is hard. That's because right now, Meta doesn't know what happens after someone interacts with your ad. Did they ask for more information? Did they talk to a salesperson? Or did they make a purchase? The more Meta knows about your current customers, the better it gets at targeting leads. If you could just share that information, Meta can use it to show your ads to more of the right people. This is exactly what the new Conversions API does. It creates a direct connection between Meta and HubSpot, so you can use your CRM data to teach Meta which leads are most valuable to you. Once Meta knows which contacts matter most to your business, Meta ads can use this information to show your ad campaigns to similar people, helping customers like me discover new donut shops. And that's not even the best part. Ads that use the Meta Conversions lead performance goal and CRM integration with the Conversions API saw their cost per quality lead go down on an average of 15%. They also converted leads to quality leads 44% faster. In other words, the Conversions API can help you spend less money to reach more high quality leads. And all you have to do is set up the new integration. If you have a Marketing Hub Professional or Enterprise account and you advertise on Facebook or Instagram, you can start using it right now. Let's take a look. To get started, you'll need 3 things in place. First, connect your Meta Ads account to HubSpot. Second, install a Facebook pixel in your HubSpot account. And third, turn on lead syncing so HubSpot can collect and sync your leads. You'll find detailed instructions for all of these steps in the HubSpot knowledge base. Just click the link in the description below this video and follow the tutorial you see there. Now, to get started with your Conversions API in your HubSpot account, begin by creating a new conversion event. In the upper right, select Create, and then select Event. Choose Facebook as your ad network, and then select your connected account. Under Event Trigger, select Lifecycle Stage Change. A HubSpot lifecycle stage is used to track which stage a contact is in your marketing funnel. Selecting this type of event will let Meta know where your contacts are in the buying journey, like if they just signed up for your daily donut digest or have actually showed up at a store to buy their first dozen. Next, add the corresponding Facebook pixel if the correct one is not already selected. Now, I'm going to choose which HubSpot lifecycle stage changes I want to send to Facebook and Instagram. For now, let's select Sales Qualified Lead. This will let us send all contacts that become sales qualified leads to Meta. I want to send sales qualified leads because I'm interested in sending Meta contacts that I have expressed interest in my products and are ready to move into the sales process. You can see here that I'll have 97 conversion events left after I create this one. HubSpot will keep track of how many events you have left. If you run out of events, you can either upgrade your Marketing Hub tier or purchase an ads limit increase to create 50 additional ad conversion events. Next, select the amount of data you'd like to share with Meta Ads. We'd recommend selecting all contacts that move to the selected lifecycle stages for the best ads optimization experience. HubSpot will automatically name your conversion event based on the lifecycle stage you chose above, so it's easy to find later. When you click Create Event, HubSpot will create a separate conversion event for each of the lifecycle changes you selected. For today, we're just going to create this one sales qualified lead event. Now, I'm going to navigate over to the Events tab and presto, there's my new lifecycle stage change conversion event. You can click on it at any time to change the details if you change your mind. But what about the other conversion events you see here? I created them before the new integration was available, and they became inactive once the integration was released. So I have to update these events for them to continue syncing. Updating these is super easy. Just click the Replace Events button. HubSpot will pre-select your Facebook ad account, the correct event trigger, and lifecycle stages. All you have to do is confirm the correct pixel is selected. You can also change which contact data you share with Meta if you want to. Click Create Event, and you're done. Just repeat that same process for each conversion event you want to replace. As you can see, setting up the Conversions API within your HubSpot account is super easy. It only takes a few minutes and opens all kinds of doors. Now, you can send HubSpot lifecycle stage changes back to Meta as a conversion, and you don't have to lift a finger to do it. This is one of the best steps you can take to lower your costs and reach higher quality leads. Plus, your customers will thank you. How else would I have discovered all of this? Click the link in the description below to get started today.
Always love a good donut.
Yes. So sorry, sort of go to the next video. But yes, I think this is sort of really brings it to life of how our partners bring our products to the market and bring it in a way that allows for sort of seamless adoption and ease of use. A lot of our products, when going at it alone, can be very complex. So I love that video. I try to show it every time. But I think ultimately the message is utilizing instant forms to capture leads on Meta. I think again, going back to the frictionless personalized experience, one, instant forms is natively embedded into the platform. It allows you to pre-populate information, and it really reduces that time from sort of exposure to initial lead. And I think as you're going through sort of nurturing that lead and sort of driving that lead from early stage to conversion, you're sitting on very valuable information. And as you're thinking about your next campaign and making sure your next dollar works harder, really utilize the conversions API for CRM connection to share that information back so that our systems can learn and better help you utilize that next dollar more effectively and really drive more quality, not just quantity. However, as you look at your specific strategies, you can do both, right? You can do quantity for certain campaigns, and you can do quality. And then having that ability to do both is sort of where the magic happens. So yeah, I posted the video in the chat. There are external publicly available documents in our sort of help center, Meta's help center. But yeah, I'm definitely open. I'll open it up to questions. Anything that I can answer, I'll go through the chat, and we can take it from there.
Love it. So I did see some questions in there. I'm going to give everybody a moment to go over, add any of the other ones that they have, about the ones that are there. So we make sure we're tackling the ones that are most interested first. But thank you so much. I love diving in and getting like those actual use case examples, because then your brain can start moving forward with like, oh, I could try this. And, it's a little bit of a jump start. So hopefully everyone else took something like that away from your presentation as well. So let me dive over into the Q&A. I'm going to rank it most voted. Let's see. Matt says most people use their personal email on Facebook, and it usually gets pre-filled on a form. What's your best practice to get company contact information on an instant form?
I would say have that as a separate question. Really, I think you can have, if it's pre-populated already, then you can pass along that information. But if you're trying to capture business emails, you can just add that as a separate question, or just don't even include the pre-populated email and ask it as sort of a custom field.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. Jeanette says, would love to see some examples of B2B companies' best practices and successes. So I know you shared one. Do you have any, or a link to somewhere where people can go check out some additional use cases and best examples?
Public links, no, but I can see if I have any in the slides. I do have some backup slides. Let me see if I can find them.
That would be great. While you're hunting for that, I will get us to the next question. Let's see. Oh, it looks Joshua had a couple issues getting the question out here. How can we pass additional parameters on integrated Meta ad accounts with HubSpot using instant forms? For example, ad agency has all ads in one Meta campaign, so we lose visibility and would also want ad group, ad or other identifiers passed into HubSpot, not just ad properties.
Think about this one. I think this is sort of a HubSpot and also Meta question. I think from a Meta perspective, depending how and where you connect your pages to which CRM, so your CRM, that's where it starts from a retrieval perspective. So then you would probably need to pass back parameters from there to HubSpot, because essentially once you pass your data back to HubSpot, you need to sort of create your sales funnel. So there's a way to potentially differentiate different accounts. In terms of passing back parameters, the number one parameter that we sort of ask to be passed back is lead ID. It is our identifier. We're not collecting name, first name, last name, email. It's the lead ID, and that will sort of help us understand the how that ID and the events that are happening in terms of the sales funnel, the movement across the sales funnel. We have the campaign information on our side, so we can map all that stuff back. But I think there's some probably work that needs to happen on the HubSpot side in terms of how you apply certain taxonomy to where things go.
Okay, that
And
makes sense.
HubSpot that can answer that at the moment.
Does that answer your question, Joshua? If there's some additional to that, go ahead and put that in the chat as well. Let's see, let me resort because I see them moving. Let's see. I believe I heard, or in the video, you mentioned that the best practice for us to share all the customer data with Meta. What are the privacy issues with us sharing our first-party data with Meta, and how do you take care of this data?
Yeah, no, I think number one, from a CAPI for Conversions API for CRM, our identifier is a lead ID. It is not first name, last name. In instances where you're using Conversions API to send PII, we have strict privacy guardrails in place where data is used for a specific purpose. We don't share that data with any third parties or advertisers without consent of the business itself. So for example, if you're sending back data for CAPI Conversions API for CRM, that's completely labeled and has specific use case by our sort of governing bodies that it can only be used for that purpose, for sort of training our models to best support instant form campaigns. It cannot be used for anything else. And this is across the board, across all of our data products. We have strict privacy guardrails in place in how we use and treat any data coming in.
Makes sense. Erica says, how can we build out automation based on the Facebook lead ad form? Do you have any examples for B2C?
Automation in terms of questions?
It says based on the Facebook lead ad. Erica, if you want to add any additional context to your question, follow-up and workflows.
That will more likely live in the CRM. I think that's how you would set up your funnel. I think for us, you sort of think of it as sort of the form creation and then where you want that lead to go. And then it connects to your CRM. And then once you connect for retrieval for CRM, then you can build out your workflow. It's sort of like a button that links you right back to your CRM system. And then it starts to, you decide your workflow. And based off that workflow, you're sending that data back and we can see that workflow. We can see sort of your sales funnel because you've configured that sales funnel. And then that allows us to learn on your particular flow. That makes sense.
So Francisco says Meta, lead, HubSpot, form completion trigger, and then so on and so forth in your workflow. Okay. All right. I saw another one.
Like I don't have any B2B, but I will follow up and ensure that maybe I can share it with you, Diana, and then
sure.
I don't know if it can be loaded into a hub or so. I believe you have the community hub that we added as a backup, as a follow-up.
Absolutely. If I have it before I send out the recording, I can send it out with the recording. If not, we can share it with the other community areas. Okay. So Rocketeer and LinkedIn and so forth.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. Sarah says, I've inherited an account built on an old Google email that is gone. I've tried 3 different times to move the account to a Meta business account without success, with some backups of how that's done. How can these tools be used without a Meta business account?
Unfortunately, they have to be used with a Meta business account. That's where sort of that's where everything lives, from like events manager, instant forms, just how it's set up. I think there are support channels that can help, externally available, in sort of trying to migrate an account over. That's sort of my best answer, my best guess at the moment.
Perfect. Thank you. And then I saw one in the chat. Is the Conversions API integration only for Marketing Pro and Enterprise? With some replies. Oh, available for Pro and Enterprise accounts. True?
Yep.
Beautiful. I don't see any more questions. You guys are efficient. I love it.
Frictionless experience. What can I say? You know, we've started that at the top. But yeah, again, take a look at the documentation. Ask your HubSpot rep. There we have external available documentation. Give it a shot. You know, if you have the ability to connect your CRM data and send that data back to Meta for us to optimize our models on your behalf. Take advantage of it. It's there. So that way your next dollar can work a lot harder and you can see better quality leads.
Perfect. Erica says, how do we find external data and documents? So you're going to share some of those with me. I will pass them
Yes,
out.
we have help center documents. What I'll do is I will put it in this chat. Hold on a second. I think I have one here.
Beautiful.
And then HubSpot has a bunch of learning documentation that they can share as well. So I'll share. Here's our external documentation on converting to CRM account. It has specific. You can go to the Business Help Center and just kind of like go around. There's a lot of good information there.
Awesome. Oh, I saw another question. Jeanette said, can you set up campaigns for different life cycle changes?
That's a good question. Can you set up campaigns for different life cycle questions? Yes, I believe you can. It's just gonna you would have to sort of segment different triggers, and I think HubSpot has other capabilities that allows you to sort of create kind of like audiences or targeting that allows you to take advantage of those to if let's say a user or a group sort of is stuck at a certain sort of life cycle change that you can retarget those and that's via a different product, but I think HubSpot will have more information on that, on how it works on their side. For us, we call it audience API or lookalikes, but that's a different product. But I believe HubSpot has allowed that capability.
I'm sure someone in the Sparketeer community has tackled that, Jeanette. So absolutely feel free to go in there and ask away. I love it. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes back in your day, and I will share out the recording with all of the resources that Alberto has shared with us, and I will talk to you guys on Tuesday next week.
Right.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Enjoy, everyone. Thank you.